The last rankings video of the year, week 18. I am sad. Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, and like I said, this is our last rankings video of the year. We did all 18, I think. Maybe we missed a few weeks. At the end, I'm going to show my week 1 rankings so we can see my first predictions versus my last, see how accurate I was. The chart's going to look a little different today, so let's get into it. Because this is the last week, I've gone ahead and simplified this chart by making it more complicated. I'll explain what that means right now. In Super Bowl conversation, we have the Ravens. They're the only team right now in the NFL that I believe has looked strong for weeks on end and deserves that spot. I know a lot of you are going to argue the 49ers, but I'm still not sold on them, so that's why they are not in that category. As for officially in, these are teams that will be in the playoffs. This week does not matter for them in terms of playoffs. It still matters for seeding, possibly home field advantage, things like that. But as far as making it to the postseason, the Browns, the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Niners, the Cowboys, the Lions, the Eagles, and the Rams are in. We'll jump down to the bottom and you can see the teams that have been eliminated. I won't list those off, but these are teams that have no chance to make the playoffs. So today we will be filling out the 3 middle categories. There will be 3 AFC teams in the playoffs that are not officially in right now, and only 2 NFC teams. One of those will be from the NFC South. The Falcons, the Buccaneers, and the Saints are all fighting for that last spot. So really, only one more NFC team outside of the NFC South will be in. And then the last category is out. These are teams that have a chance this week, but ultimately I don't think they'll make it. We will start with the Vikings, and I think the Vikings are out. They have to win this week, and the Packers have to lose, the Seahawks have to lose, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to lose, and I don't think that's reasonable. So, unfortunate for this team with injuries to Jefferson and Kirk Cousins this year. I think they could have been a solid team, but not in 2023, or 2024, I guess. The Falcons play the Saints this week, and the only way they can make the playoffs is by beating the Saints and having Tampa Bay lose. But unfortunately for them, Tampa Bay plays the Panthers, so I think the Falcons are out. I'm going to go ahead and slide the Buffalo Bills into one of the AFC teams in. However, I do think it's reasonable, somewhat reasonable, that they may miss. If they win, they're in. They play the Dolphins this week. If Pittsburgh loses, they're in. And if Jacksonville loses, they're in. So they have a lot of paths to be in, but the main one they're going to shoot for is trying to win. If they beat Miami, they jump up all the way to the 2 seed. The 2 seed in the AFC. There's actually a lot of ways the Packers can make the playoffs, but as long as they win against the Bears, they're in, and I think they will do just that. So I was wrong on the Packers. I know I was a big critic of them this year. I was incorrect when saying that, but I do think they will be the last team outside of the NFC South who will make it in by beating the Bears. If Houston beats Indianapolis, they are in the playoffs. I actually believe that Houston will head to Indy this week and they will beat the Colts. I think the Colts have too many question marks. They're too up and down, and I think the offense and CJ Stroud will be able to manipulate this defense in ways that they have not seen or faced, the Colts that is, in weeks past. So I actually believe that one of the last AFC teams in is the Houston Texans. And for that reason, the Colts just barely missed the playoffs. Jacksonville travels to Tennessee this week, and I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I'm not going to overthink it. Jacksonville beats Tennessee and makes the playoffs. These are your teams from the AFC that I believe will be in the playoffs for 2024. If the Saints want to make the playoffs, they have to beat Atlanta, and Tampa Bay has to lose. But like I said, I don't think Tampa Bay will lose to Carolina. So unfortunately for the Saints, they will be out of the NFC South and the playoff race. Obviously, I said the AFC was set, but I do want to talk briefly about the Steelers here. They play the Ravens, who have already secured the number 1 spot, home field advantage, all of that. So it is likely they'll rest their starters. I think the Steelers are going to play hard, and they could end up beating the Baltimore Ravens this week. And if the Buffalo Bills lose to the Dolphins, the Steelers would be in. So this is one thing right here that's still a little confusing to me, and I definitely see a path for the Steelers to make it in over the Bills. But I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to believe in the Bills like I believed in the Bills all year. It's too late to back out now. The Steelers are out of the playoffs. If you're perceptive, you know who's going into that last NFC spot. It's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they will beat the Carolina Panthers, and that's all they have to do to make it. Now, Seattle, they need to win against the Cardinals, who just beat the Eagles, and they need Green Bay to lose to the Bears. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Seahawks will even struggle to beat Arizona, just as they struggled to beat Pittsburgh. By beat Pittsburgh, I mean lose to Pittsburgh by 3 points, just as I predicted. Okay, I know this team, I know how they are, and they are out of the playoffs. Let's just have some fun, shall we? This was my list after week 1. I had the 49ers and the Cowboys in the Super Bowl conversation, and that's not too far off. I think that's realistic. Even today, I think one of those teams will probably represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. As for comfy playoffs, the Bengals, unfortunate with some injuries there. They almost made it into the playoffs. Lions, good. Ravens, good. Jags, I think it's pretty reasonable to say that was good. Chargers was way off. Very, very overhyped on the Chargers this year was and I was very wrong. Dolphins was good. Eagles was good, although they have really fallen off. As for the category, very wrong on the Patriots. I was okay on the Saints, okay on the Bills, wrong on the Browns. I kind of undersold them a little bit. Horrible on the Titans. Fine on the Packers. Fine on the Chiefs. In fact, I would say that's a win on the Chiefs. I know a lot of people are always going to put Patrick Mahomes in comfy playoffs and in Super Bowl conversation, but I think my analysis of the Chiefs this year was solid. Rams was good. Vikings, another injury-ridden team. Jets, they beat Buffalo week 1 after losing Aaron Rodgers, so I had faith in them. A little bit overhyped there. And Buccaneers was fine. As for 6-11, I undersold the Steelers. I was fine on the Falcons, way off on the Panthers. I did believe in Bryce Young and that team. Fine on the Bears, fine on the Broncos. Colts, a little bit undersold. Fine on the Raiders. Really fine on the Seahawks, the way they've been looking lately. And a little bit overachieving on the Washington Commanders. As for wins the draft, guys, I'll say it right now. Right now. I could not have been more wrong about the Houston Texans. Cardinals and Giants, that is what it is. I'd say that's pretty close. But the Houston Texans, congratulations to their great season. Even if they lose to the Colts this week and miss the playoffs, a fantastic outing. C.J. Stroud is a potential long-term starter for them, and he's got weapons around him, it seems. So I was wrong. I was very wrong on that. Probably my worst blunder of the year. I know this is my last rankings video, but I plan to do something to fill the time, fill the internet in the coming weeks. I will do a playoff preview when we get the final playoff schedule released. I'll probably transition over to NBA content, so if you like this type of thing and are interested for basketball when football ends, then let me know. I may be able to pop up similar tier list for NBA and look forward to that each week. So thank you all for your support all year. You got me over 1,000 subscribers. We're still working on that watch time. So hopefully you continue to come by because 2024 is Green Beans Go year, baby. We'll see you next time.